you ready to heal your mind, body, and soul from the inside out? Welcome to the Real Healing Institute show with Michelle Sinclair, divine healer and spiritual teacher, where spiritual transformation meets practical guidance to break free from limiting beliefs, subconscious pain, and energetic blocks. This is a powerful space for those seeking true healing and enlightenment. Michelle's teachings are rooted in her deep study of the Christ letters and the spiritual awakening that came from her unwavering dedication to divine truth. She helps individuals navigate their inner healing journey through subconscious soul healing techniques and spiritual teachings by uplifting the vibrational resonance of our thoughts, words, and actions that shape the very fabric of our lives. It is time to learn the profound understandings of universal love. The Real Healing Institute show starts now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is the Real Healing Institute. My name is Michelle Sinclair, and today my guest is Julia Zanon. I'm just going to give her a little quick intro from what I know. So Julia is, I met her a few weeks ago. They came down to Sedona, Arizona for an event that was being put on. And I had met her husband, Nathaniel. He had done a deep dive AI search and had found out that I was teaching the Christ letters. And so, several months ago, we met up. And so then through him, I've met Julia. She's so wonderful. I've met their beautiful daughter, Luciana, who is like a very, really special little being. And so when I met Julia a couple weeks ago, she told me something that I was like, what? This is amazing. Everybody needs to be doing this. I wish I would have done this when I was pregnant with my kids and all these things. So we're going to talk to Julia today about several different things. But first of all, number one, Julia, when she was pregnant, was doing wonderful spiritual work on herself with the intent of like, I'm doing this because I have this child within me and I need to do these amazing and wonderful things. And so she did. So I want to give a real example of why this sparked so deep within me with the work that I have done for the past 10 years. Many people, their issue that they have has come from the womb, has come from feeling like they were unloved, unwanted. Maybe mom was under stress. Who knows what was going on? But people's presenting issues today will follow it back and it'll go back all the way to the womb. So when Julia told me what she told me, I'm like, what? This is amazing. You should teach a class. You should do a thing. So Julia, please, if you want to give a quick little intro of anything maybe I've missed out here that you'd like to say, but then please tell us about what you did when you were pregnant.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for the warm welcome and the
Of
invitation to be on your podcast, Michelle. I'm super
course.
honored to be here. And I
Mhm.
just want to give a quick intro to the title, Planting. Oh, it's moving with me. Okay. Planting seeds of light. So for me, seeds spark the beginning of something new, whether it's, like you said, a thought, a word, an action. For me, my intention here today is to offer, a spark of wisdom or a spark of practices or presence that can, add ripples to your listeners' lives. And over time, hopefully that seed can grow into a beautiful garden. And for light too, like that word is so significant in our life. And for me, it just symbolizes clarity, truth, and, higher consciousness and divine love. And that's what this life is all about. So thanks for having
Mhm.
me.
Of
Yeah,
course.
one thing that stood out right away when I was pregnant, I had no idea what I was supposed to do because I didn't learn about that in school. In our regular education systems, they don't teach us how to be moms and how to take care of little ones. So I was in the unknown and it scared me a lot. I felt like I wasn't ready to start a family. I knew I always wanted to be a mother. Like for the longest time, I had questioned my life purpose, but being a mother was one thing I always knew in my heart that I wanted. And then when it finally happened, I'm like, oh God, like I have no idea what to do. And then all these things, all these spiritual awakenings and experience started happening to me. And I kind of just took a step back and started listening to the guidance that was coming through and to the intuition that was flowing. And yeah, one thing that comes up right away when you talked about the womb was one of the first biggest spiritual experiences I had while being pregnant with my daughter, Luciana, was me being taken back to the memory of being pre-utero and in utero in my mother's womb. And I felt everything my mother was feeling. I
Mhm.
felt the fear, I felt the worry, I felt maybe that she wasn't ready to have me, a second child. And it connected me to her and connected me to all of the consciousness and the memories that she was feeling. and to my own memories. And I realized like we are not separate. Like the reason
Mhm.
I'm feeling this and I'm remembering this is because I'm still one with my mother. And it's so funny because yesterday, as I was nursing my daughter to sleep, she kept saying, because I was like taking notes of what I wanted to share on your podcast today. And Luciana just kept going, un, as I was holding her and rocking her in my arms. And I'm like, oh yeah, Luciana, you're reminding me the most important thing I wanted to share that I will share is that we are all one. And Luciana is still one with me, even though that we're not physically connected anymore. It's like she started from a seed and an egg, and here she is. She's still one. We're all one.
Mhm. It's beautiful. She's just the sweetest, most special little thing. So you had said too when you were pregnant with her that you were doing some kind of past life work or like ancestral type clearing. Do you want to tell us about that? Because if anybody is out there that is pregnant right now, they're going to hear this and they're going to be like, I'm doing it this afternoon.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, when I just want to take a step back and give a short like intro to my life. So basically, my life's journey. When I met Nathaniel, we were living in kind of East Canada. We were living in Ontario, and we took a leap into the unknown together. We took a trip out west. We were looking for conscious community, and we ended up in Nelson, BC for some time. It was a very healing time, lots of awakenings there as well. Maybe we can talk about that another time.
Mhm.
But eventually, our journey took us to Vancouver Island. And this is where most of the magic happened. There was something about the lands there, the energy. So many things came up for me during that time. And I had an out of body experience. This is just before I got pregnant. And I did not take any substances, no psychedelics. And I had an out of body experience. And I'll just give a quick, I think it's really important that people hear this. So I would love to share a little
Definitely.
bit
I want
about
to
it.
hear it.
So we were in a really uncomfortable situation. We had just moved in with new roommates. We'd never lived with another couple before. Everything about that situation was just going wrong. I was disappointed. I was not happy. I just wanted to run away. And literally one morning waking up, I told Nathaniel, I'm like, I'm going to go for a run. Like, I don't know what to do with our lives. Like, we're stuck in this situation. He's like, Julia, stop running away from your feelings. Like, accept where you are right now. I literally just ran to the bedroom. I was tears streaming down my face and I slammed the door shut. He's like, come dance. When you dance, you're always feeling better. And I'm like, I don't feel like dancing right now. I literally felt like my 6-year-old self. Like I was a little kid. I slammed the door shut. He knocked on the door. He put on my favorite song, Spirit Bird by Xavier Rudd. And I cracked the door open and peeked my eye through and I said, what do you want? He gave me his hand and he said, if you'd like, I'd love to hold you, you know? And so I just opened the door and like ran into his arms as I sobbed. He held me, he held space for me. And I was just letting it all out. And then all of a sudden I heard the music in the background and I just started moving. And we moved our way to the living room and we were just flowing together. And all of a sudden, I kind of felt myself, my consciousness come out of my body. And I unattached from the suffering and I unattached from the disappointment and all the fear and anxieties and worries. And I just like I don't want to say I felt nothing. I felt pure love.
Mhm.
Like I was not attaching to that, and therefore I was no longer suffering. And I realized the only reason I was suffering was because I was holding on to those identities. And then I let it go, and like I was in this, ulterior state of consciousness, and it was such a beautiful experience. It's kind of hard to put into words, but that was one of the awakenings that led into another one, which you described as the ancestral healing. So this actually happened during the conception of Luciana. Yeah, it was a very intimate moment, and all of a sudden, again, I was just weeping, and this was like no other intimate moment I've ever experienced before. And as I was weeping, there was like these waves of deep, deep, deep ancestral patterns and healings coming through. And I released everything, the shame, the guilt. I was letting it go. I was holding on to it, and it stopped there. Like I let it go, and I realized it's okay for me to feel pleasure. It's okay for me to be intimate with my partner. And in that moment, I literally felt the space for Luciana's being to come through, and the soul agreement that was there was recognized. And like I knew instantly. The next day I woke up, I was nauseous in the morning. I never wake up nauseous, and I instantly knew that we were going to be having a baby.
Wow, that is powerful. That is amazing. I know when I had tuned into Luciana first, maybe when I first met Nathaniel, or just on one of the spiritual circles we had or something, it was like, oh, there's something very significant about your daughter. And I don't remember exactly what it was that I said, but this would make sense too, that you would have such a profound thing, as the mother clearing, for her, not just for yourself. I saw this study that was done the other day, because we always think, and like you did so good, but we always think like, oh, I wish I had done all of this, before I had my kids so that they could have the effect. But I had saw the study that was done that said like, okay, so they take your DNA, they put it 100 miles away from you, you do the healing over here, and the second that it changes here, it changes over there too. Everything's spirit, everything's energy, so that stuff actually doesn't matter. But the fact that this was cleared for her before she ever even came here, there's so much significance in that. And I see so many of the little kids, little people going around that, man, they're special. There's something about them. They got something. And it's like they come here, they get the look, they know things, and they've come here for this time right now. So what a wonderful thing that she has you, as her mom. So they
Thanks,
want to
Michelle.
tell us here about the new things too, as well, that you've been working on. I know that you're working on a book, you've written a course, you've done all these things, and everything that you're doing, I'm like, that's amazing. Oh, that's amazing too. So do you just tell us about this stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And what you just said there, time is not linear. So as long as we continue to do the inner work, like it will have ripple effects for all of our lineages, for everyone around
Mhm.
us. And yeah, I could talk days about all the spiritual experiences I went through. Yeah, and it led up to that book. So I'm just thinking if there's anything else that I'd like to talk about during that would really benefit your listeners.
Well, I know we had spoke before and we were talking about, should we talk about psychedelics here? And I know that, in my life, it did play a role for myself, however many years ago when I had first started working with it. Not that I'm saying that that's the way to go, but it is one of the ways that you can go that can, if we have these barriers or these things that are there, something like an experience like that can just break that down in 1 second. I know for myself, it unleashed some joy that I had had in me. It was like I was blocked, and I'm just speaking about this now and thinking about why that probably happened. Was there would have been something in me that felt like, oh, maybe I don't deserve to be happy. Maybe I don't deserve to have that kind of joy. And just through having that experience, it unblocked, unleashed, changed my life, gave me the joy. Do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, briefly, I'll touch on it. I won't go too deep about it, but it changed my life. Yeah, I did experience with psychedelics during the time I was in Nelson, and during that time, I really struggled with self-love. And
You just glitched out for 1 second. Do you want to just tell
okay,
us that again there?
yeah, so I had a lot of fears around self-love, and as soon as I had my first psychedelic experience, there was no doubts. I knew right away. I'd look in the mirror, I'd see the light in my eyes, and I felt like a little fairy. I felt like I no, I didn't feel. I knew I was light. I knew I was love. And then I danced for like 6 hours straight, and I just felt like a little kid. And yeah, and then I had another experience with psilocybin, and I did a pretty big dosage. And you know what? I did a hero dose and I had a lot of remembrances too. It took me through my whole life, like cycles and my Akashic records. And it reminded me of my purpose of why I'm here. And that is to awaken and awaken others around me. And remember who I am. And yeah, and remember with our soul family.
Mhm.
But you know what? I felt like after those experiences, I felt like I didn't need to use psychedelics anymore to awaken. And
Mhm.
what I really appreciate about my pregnancy journey, it was like a natural awakening with the spiritual experiences and remembrances that I had. Like there was another time where I just felt like so emotional. This was during my first trimester, and I just needed to let out something. Something wanted to come up to be healed, whether it was a trauma, whatever it was. I felt like a 6-year-old girl again. And Nathaniel just kind of, my partner just held space for me. I like went to the floor and I cried for like minutes, minutes, minutes. And I was sobbing so hard. But I was just allowing. I wasn't trying to change or judge or question. And what's so beautiful is it came out of my system and it got transcended. And I felt so much lighter after. And I didn't need to exactly understand where that memory came from or what happened. It was just in the body and it wanted to be released. So I'm so grateful that I had these opportunities to go through these experiences. Like I could honestly talk for days. There was so much, but leading up to the birth, I just want to share another quick thing. So I had no idea how to have a natural birth. All I knew is it's what I wanted, and I knew I was going to figure it out by literally not figuring it out or doing anything and just trusting. And everything aligned so beautifully. I surrendered all the way to the end. And then there was actually a point where my naturopathic doctor, who was supposed to attend my birth, told me like 2 weeks before my due date that she was to go to an unexpected trip all the way in India and during the time of my birth. And I was like, what, why would you do that? Like, my trust was broken. I had no idea what we were going to do as a plan B. It was too late to find a new doctor. We were probably going to free birth at that point, but it was just the universe asking me to trust even more and surrender even deeper, and I did. It was like weeks and days of crying, but I just went deeper into the trust, knowing that Luciana would come at the most divine timing. And she did. She came 2 days before my doctor left to her trip to India.
Mm.
And yeah, it's really interesting how she came, because Nathaniel actually was cupping to help relieve some sciatica pain. And there's some meridian points on the lower back that actually induce labor naturally. So it was all perfectly planned.
Good job, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
It
And
worked
after
out.
6 hours of an intense labor, it came time to transition and pushing. And you know what, Michelle? I felt no pain. All the preparation I did, it was actually pretty ecstatic, and there was no pain to be felt. The labor itself was intense, but I didn't describe that as painful, just intense sensation that I was able to be with. But then the actual pushing part itself, there was no pain whatsoever. In fact, I was very calm. I was not screaming. I was breathing through it. And the last thing I want to share is that because we had the induced labor naturally, it actually caused my placenta to decouple from my uterus a little bit quicker than it would have naturally. And so it caused a lot of blood loss. So we actually had to activate EMS because I was actually slipping away with the amount of blood. I think I lost 2 quarts of blood.
Oof.
And yeah, and then one of the breathwork practices that I learned during pregnancy that I was practicing with Dr. Sue Morter, who is a founder of Body Awake Yoga and Energy Codes book. It's amazing. Nathaniel reminded me. I remember my eyes were closing, I was fading away, and Nathaniel's like, central channel breath, do the breath, do the breath. And then I heard that. I couldn't see anything, but I started doing the breath, and it just brought me right back into my body. And then a beautiful thing I just want to share is I was very weak after. I couldn't really get up or anything, but Nathaniel lifted me into the tub. And this is what I call the baptism of being a new mom. So basically, all of a sudden, I went into this state of pure self-love. Like, I was just washing the blood off my body in the bath, and I was sobbing because I just felt like I was love. I knew I was light. I knew I was love. I just went through this transformational experience of a light portal opening up through my physical body and a little babe coming through. And she was so present and lucid. She looked right into her eyes. Yeah, and I know I'm supposed to be talking about the book right now, but I
No,
just really
all
wanted to
good.
share that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow, what a thing too, right? And even and it's all just the spirit, right? These little moments that come through, and it's like, okay, even going in the tub, even washing the blood off of you can be a spiritual experience when
Yes.
that's the type of person that you are. That's beautiful.
Totally. And leading up to that moment was honestly me trusting and doing the inner work. And like another big thing was I had an affirmation wall in my bedroom with twinkle lights inspired by Louise Hay, just affirming what type of birth experience I wanted to create. And so the reason I created the birth course, I'm creating the birth course, is because I feel like there's so many other moms out there who could benefit from, knowing practical things that they could do in order to prepare for a natural home birth. And I feel like that was the easy part. So for me, the challenging part has been post-birth, the initiation, the true initiation into motherhood. It's like, whoa, where to
Yeah.
begin?
Yeah, where'd all my time go? I
Yeah,
don't have any time anymore. I had all these things I wanted to do, and now I
it's
have
baby
this.
time now, baby.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
totally different.
You know, as a mama of four, it's like everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything changes. It's the biggest adjustment ever. Luciana is 19 months now, and I'm still adjusting.
Mhm.
But I'm I'm trusting that there's nothing in life that the universe gives us that is bigger than us. So even if it
Yeah.
feels bigger than us at the time, it's always for us. It's for our growth. It's for our awakening. They are our greatest teachers. And for me, the biggest challenge I'm going through right now is wanting to wean, but not feeling like she's ready or not knowing how to because I don't want to traumatize her or have her cry it out. The only way she's ever known to fall asleep is nursing and in my arms. And so for me, that's been the biggest challenge of, okay, how do I change this now? And how does she know that she's not being abandoned? So this is why I
Mm.
created a book. I spoke to a bunch of mama friends and they're like, oh, we read this book and this worked for us. And I looked into ordering these books, but then I'm like, why don't I just create one so that when she flips the pages, she sees herself, she sees me, she sees her toys in the book, and she understands like why she's going to be going through this and that she's not just going to be abandoned. Like she's going to tap and tune into a light and love inside of her heart that is always going to remind her that she's never separate from me.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. What a good
Oh, I don't
book.
know if you can see the book. Oh
Oh,
no.
it kind of glitches. Oh, there we go. Now we can see
So this
it.
is the first copy that I wrote for her. It's a little more customized with like and personalized with Italian words and stuff. But I'm creating a customized version and a universal version right now, where parents will be able to go in and change the title and the name and the appearance of the characters.
Mhm. Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful. So, this is obviously a book then that you read with her. And what does she think of it?
She honestly is so smart. Even though she can't communicate a lot, she understands. And when we get to the point where she sees herself crying in bed because she can't have my milk, she just like, no, no, and she shuts the book.
Like, I don't want to hear it, Mom.
But I
That's
think she
good.
understands it's coming, and we're going to go through this transition as a family.
Hmm. So what future plans do you have for writing courses, things like
Yeah.
this?
Okay, great question. So definitely working on that book right now, working on my home birth course, and I definitely want to write a bigger book about like all my experiences and journey leading up to my point in life where I am now. And then on a bigger scale, Nathaniel and I are actually creating a movement and an association called Light Heart Vision. So basically, this is to ignite educators and parents to come together and awaken through community, connection, and co-creating together. So imagine a world where, everyone has access to resources and, we're connecting in ways like intergenerational learning and yeah, people have access to courses and, we're not just like in a society where things are segregated or there's like competition. We actually want to be bridge builders between community centers and even create new ones across the globe. So we're going to be doing that with different courses and different offerings and products and services. And you can sign up we're still in our seedling phase, also why this is called Planting Seeds of Light. But we already have a subscription offer on our website. So if you want to check that out, people can follow us as we flow.
And so how do they find you? What's your website?
It's lightheartvision.com.
Okay, lightheartvision.com. Excellent. Yes, you guys have lots of plans, and there's going to be amazing things that come through here. And what I think is just the best is it seems, at least in mainstream education, spirituality is, really been taken out of it. Whereas for us, we know that literally everything from a pen to a coffee cup is the spirit. Everything's just reporting back to you from your own spirit, telling you all these things. And so I think what's so wonderful is keeping that, keeping that in people, all these little kids, they've got such these talented gift, their intuition is just amazing, and then we, have as a society dampened that down and taken it away, and that's the opposite of what you guys, are doing. It's like be you and keep being you so you can really be you later on and not have
And
to
that's
undo
exactly
it.
what it is. Like we're not trying to
Mhm.
change them. They are our greatest guides. We're just helping them show them the way, but we don't need to change them. Like they're perfect as they are, you know? And yeah,
Mhm.
what's beautiful for your listeners is Light Heart Vision is also founded on the Christ Letters Foundation. So
Mhm. Yeah, so that we have these wonderful teachings. And, I just know with my children, if ever they'll listen to one of my podcast episodes, which if anyone's listening and they want to hear more, there's, daily podcasts that I have called the Real Healing Institute on YouTube that you can find me there. But these are, spiritual guidance that help people to understand the universal laws so that they can understand exactly why their life is the way that it is. And when we teach these little kids this, then rather than, blaming or being a victim or this or that, they can understand, oh, this is why this is happening. I can change these things. I can control these things. Not to say that, children, we go through these karmic things when we're little. We decide though who our parents are. We decide all these
Absolutely.
lessons that we want to learn.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you came on here today. So we've only got about a minute and a half left or so. Is there anything else? You got your notes there. Is there anything else that you really wanted to mention while you're still here?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's nothing that comes right off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah, just if anyone feels connected to this or resonates, please reach out. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, I have a wait list up for my book that's currently being made. And yeah,
And so the home birthing course that you have, is this something that's almost complete? And is this something that will be live, or it's just a course people can buy online?
it will be a course, like a self-paced course, but it will also have a live Q&A with me. And I'm actually in the middle of creating it right now. So I actually it's almost done. I created a survey where I can co-create with the course taker. So basically, like if you feel like you're a mom or you want to become a mom and have a natural home birth, but you don't know what that looks like and you're interested, you can fill out the survey and it will kind of help me also to design the course and see what you would like to have on it so I could help like tailor it to you.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can send you the link to the survey when that's done and it will really help me to co-create this course, which is what Light Heart Vision is all about. So
That is wonderful. And they can find that on lightheartvision.com. Everything will
yeah,
be there underneath the
yeah.
menu. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. This is wonderful. I know 30 minutes flies by so fast. Thank you for all the listeners. Thank you for everyone who has tuned in here today. If you want to hear more, you can find me at therealhealinginstitute.com or on the Real Healing Institute under Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the things, even TikTok. Thank you so much, Julia, for being here today, and hopefully we will see you again here. It's
Sounds
wonderful.
good.
Thanks for
Thank you
being
for
here.
having me, Michelle. I was
Yeah, you're
honored to be
welcome.
here. Hopefully, I
Excellent.
planted some seeds of light today.
Excellent, Suits. You definitely did. Thank you so
Much
much.
love.
Okay. Love to you all. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Thank you for joining the Real Healing Institute show with me, Michelle Sinclair. Tune in every second and fourth Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com for more empowering ways to spread love and set yourself free. Together, we'll elevate the consciousness of the planet. Stay connected. Follow me on social media, subscribe to the podcast, and explore the Mental Cleanse series on YouTube. Ready to go deeper? Book a session with Michelle at therealhealinginstitute.com. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and remember, love is the only way.